Friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's going to be another fragrance first impressions. Please excuse the lighting. It's been such a weird day with like heavy clouds and thunderstorms that the weather is just, the lighting is not so good. Today I'm going to be doing a first impressions from a fragrance I have smelled on strips, smelled the cap, smelled on other people, but never have experienced it myself on my skin, and it's Commodity Whiskey. And I'm really excited to try this because I did really enjoy that on other people, but there's a few notes in this that I feel like might pull negatively or not so well on my skin. So I am really excited to try it. This has been one I've been thinking about getting, I'm not too sure. So I'm going to do a fragrance first impressions and let you guys know what I think. So let's get into the video. I'm going to remind you how my fragrance first impressions work. I have a fragrance that in most cases I have never smelled before, but it at least has never touched my skin, so I don't know what it's going to smell like on me. I spritz it on my skin, wait about 10 to 15 seconds for it to settle down, and then give you my first impressions of the opening. Then I come back depending on how long I think a fragrance needs to dry down. Usually it's between 15 minutes to 30 minutes, and I'll give you my first impressions of the dry down. Now I do know to be able to give a kind of a more realistic first impressions review, I need to wear it a few times to give you proper mini review and give it the due justice to let you guys know about longevity and projection and how it develops on my skin. So I'll wear this sample throughout the week, and then at the end of next week's or the next fragrance first impressions video I will give you a little mini review, and in some cases I'll come back later and give you a more in-depth review if it's something that I've worn longer and longer, and there's been a few fragrances I've ended up doing that. But at the end of next week's video there will be a mini review of this, and I'll tell you how it projected, how long it lasted, and if it developed on my skin. Which means at the end of this video I'm going to have not last week's, because last week I didn't have a first impression, but the week before that, the last fragrance first impression video was from House of Matriarch, and it was on the fragrance Madrona. So I will let you guys know what I thought of that fragrance. So let's jump into the video. I'm familiar with Commodity. They're a very well-known, easy to find niche brand. You can find them in Sephora's and some department stores. They're very well known. They're one of the niche houses that I think are a little bit easier to wear and easier to understand, more accessible, and I feel like that's why it has a lot of popularity. I really like Commodity. Commodity Gold is amazing, and I absolutely love Commodity Bergamot. They have three collections. They have the white collection, the black collection, and the new platinum collection. Now this is considered a shared unisex fragrance, so you guys know I consider all fragrances to be genderless, but let me remind you guys or tell you guys of the notes, what the notes are, and then we'll go into putting it on my skin and seeing how it works. So the top notes in this are bergamot, lemon, and eucalyptus. The heart notes are lavender, sage, and ivy. The base notes are dark musk, amber, cinnamon, and American oak. Now I mentioned in the beginning of this video that I was worried about a note kind of playing weird on my skin, and that's actually the eucalyptus. I actually like eucalyptus. I like using it in bath products. I think there's one other fragrance, I forget what it is, that had a eucalyptus note in it, which immediately opened really nice on my skin, but it kind of wore a little strange on me. So that's the note that I'm kind of like, I don't know. But when I see the cinnamon, the oak, the sage, the ivy, the bergamot, and the lavender, I am so excited to see how this smells. Now in other people, I get kind of a bit of a booziness, and there's a lot of woodsy, dark notes in this. I'm not expecting this to be like a whiskey boozy scent. I'm kind of more expecting it to be kind of like a conceptual whiskey fragrance, but we will see. I'm not wearing anything right now on my skin, and I took a shower this morning and used unscented soap, so I am ready to let you guys know what I think. So let's spray this bad boy. Nice sprayer on this guy. So you guys know I spray it on both hands. And I'm gonna let this sit on my skin for like 10-15 seconds, and once it kind of like settles down and just kind of rests on my skin, I'll let you guys know about the opening. Okay, so we are here, and it's been about 20 seconds. I'll let you guys know what I think of the opening. The opening is very strong. I definitely get that kind of like medicinal menthol-esque, it's not really menthol, vibe from the eucalyptus. I can definitely pull that note out really strongly in the opening. But it's not negative, it's actually positive. I kind of really like it. It's very refreshing and herbal, a little bit aromatic. Kind of is giving it a little bit of an aquatic feel, just a little bit mixed with the bergamot and the lemon. I'm getting a bit more green, that's probably like the ivy, and a bit of a woodsy note from the oak. So we will see how this wears on my skin. This is smelling like it smells on strips and other people, but generally with fragrances like this, because I don't have much experience with eucalyptus, I don't know how this is going to dry down. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to give this about half an hour at least to dry down on my skin, and I will let you guys know what I think. So I'll be right back. Hoping the lighting would change by the time I got back, but it hasn't. So hi, it's been about 45 minutes. And this has definitely developed and kind of changed on my skin, so I'm going to let you guys know kind of what happens. Not negative, actually. I'm really enjoying this. So to me, this isn't a boozy fragrance. This isn't like a whiskey fragrance, kind of like, you know, when you see like rum fragrances or whiskey fragrances or anything with any type of alcohol, you get like with some boozy feel or notes. There's none of that. There's no booze in this fragrance. To me, this kind of is more of like a whiskey shop. Like if you were to walk into a bar or a shop, how the decor would be if they were like primarily for whiskey. No, that sounds weird, but it's more of a conceptual whiskey and not so much of a actual whiskey. But I actually kind of really like that. The thing that I like the most about this, and it's gonna sound weird because when you think of like dark musk and amber and what else, the notes in there, the oak and the cinnamon, when I saw those notes, I thought this was going to be on the warmer side, but there's something kind of soapy and refreshing about this fragrance, and I think that you get to thank the eucalyptus for that. There is a bit of spice in the background. There's definitely aromatic, and you can thank the eucalyptus and the lavender for that. But the oaky, the American oak with the sage and the ivy and the eucalyptus is definitely giving this a very refreshing vibe. It's really quite pleasant, but that cinnamon and amber in the background is making it just a little bit warm, just a little bit. It's really nicely balanced. I don't think that there's anything crazy like unique about this fragrance or crazy inspiring, but some of the other fragrances from Commodity I haven't really been inspired by, but I have still really loved the juice. It's been a good solid juice, wears really well on the skin, and just generally overall it's a nice experience, and I feel that's going to be with this as well. It's not one of those conceptual niche house where you're fighting to figure out what it is. It's not inspiring, it's not unique, but it's doing what it does well. It's very accessible, kind of more of a mainstream niche house, which to me Commodity has always been, and that's definitely how it's playing on my skin. Now, as you guys know, I think fragrance is genderless, but a lot of you guys, you know, if you're into more masculine fragrances or more feminine fragrances, this is definitely leaning way more on the masculine side. There's not any sweetness to this. The lavender, the sage, the ivy, and the eucalyptus is making this kind of cold and aquatic. But that cinnamon and that amber isn't giving it sweetness, it's giving it just a little bit of warmth in the background. So this to me feels more of like a masculine fragrance. But there's nothing wrong with this fragrance so far. I'm actually really enjoying it. So I'm going to see how this wears. So far, this is bottle worthy for me if I wanted to smell like this, and this is the way I like to smell. So I will definitely wear this throughout the week and let you guys know what I think next week. So that's my thoughts of whiskey. I really like it. It's not inspiring, but it seems to be a really solid fragrance. But I do want to see how this develops on my skin. I want to see if the eucalyptus becomes a little bit more loud, because I feel like that could throw off the balance, or maybe it'll get a little bit more warm or musky. We will see. But so far, it's really, really nice. So now I'm going to let you guys know what I think of last week's fragrance, which was from House of Matriarch, and it was Madrona. That was another really beautiful just kind of like woodsy, aromatic fragrance. Another fragrance with lavender, which is something I've really been searching for and enjoying. And yeah, I wanted to let you guys know what I thought. So there's only really one thing I can say is that, yeah, I loved it. I bought a bottle. Only a few fragrances with first impressions where I wear through the sample and I'm like, I need this. The other one was from Histoires des Parfums. It was $18.99. That's still probably my favorite new fragrance of this year. Just absolutely fantastic fragrance. I can't get enough of it. But this one, you guys, was just so beautiful on the skin. It smelled beautiful. It had this really kind of effervescent woodsy note to it. The lavender was gorgeous. I mean, everything about this was beautiful. I loved it. I also liked how it developed on the skin. You got more of the lavender and kind of more of a wood. It almost felt like you were getting lost in a forest and you just kind of came across this lavender field in a clearing, and it took me someplace really special, and I love it when fragrances do that. So I definitely had to get a bottle of this. Loved it. I mean, I'm kind of a little bit tongue-tied. I'm going to be doing a more thorough review of this fragrance. Like I said before, I feel like I can sit here and give you guys a mini review, but usually what I tell you guys is is it bottle worthy, is it not bottle worthy. Obviously I thought it was because I purchased it. But the other thing too is that this had a beautiful projection. It developed on the skin really nicely and it had excellent longevity. I mean, I got like 8 hours of wear. I know some people with some of their fragrances don't, but for some reason on my skin it just kind of stuck to it, and in a very positive way. And the projection of this was really nice. It was really pleasant. My husband enjoyed it. I mean, just generally overall it was a positive experience, and I ran through that sample so fast because I could not stop wearing it. So absolutely loved the fragrance. Obviously purchased a bottle. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Madrona from House of Matriarch. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, guys, if you like my fragrance videos and my first impressions videos, remember to give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue doing videos like this. And also don't forget to subscribe because it's free and I'm free. And I put out new videos every Monday through Friday and sometimes on the weekends as well. So I'll always have something for you to watch. In any case, I hope you guys are all happy and healthy and have a great day, month, year, whatever. And I'll see you next time. Bye.